Good morning, people. Welcome to United View. Welcome to the morning view. As you've just seen there at the start of the show, very important to commemorate and remember the Busby babes. We will never forget them. Of course, we got a lot to talk about during the show and always do with this thing that is Manchester United that keeps constantly turning. But on days like today, especially today, the 6th of February, as we commemorate the Busby babes, we should never forget the day our club changed forever, and I urge any of you guys, if you're too young to have obviously been around in those times, but no matter what age you are as a United fan, whether you've started supporting us within the last year or the last 50 or 60 years or more, please do your best to sort of read up on what happened, find out exactly the magnitude of what happened, how we dealt with it, how we bounced back. Take time to remember the people who lost their lives, not just players, but club staff and club journalists. It was a really, really difficult time. For me personally, I know it may seem a little bit over the top. This is just what I do. This book here is always here in my little setup here, The Flowers of Manchester. It was actually from a few years ago. I think they gave them out on one of the home games closest to the anniversary, and I've about 3 or 4 years ago. I've always kept with it. It's a fantastic little book that just tells you everything about what happened, how it happened, where it happened, and how our amazing club bounced back with the likes of Jimmy Murphy and how Sir Matt came back and brought us back. So yeah, interesting to make sure that we have to remember them, Owen.
Absolutely. It's an incredible story of resilience. Obviously, there's tragedy, there's heartbreak, and then, like I said, there's the aftermath, there's resilience as well, isn't there? And it's woven into the fabric and the DNA of Manchester United, and it's still resilience, and it's still that kind of fighting spirit, and through dark times, brighter days emerge kind of spirit and mentality that still plays out today when it comes to Manchester United. So I totally echo everything you said then. They're never forgotten. Unfortunately, sometimes of history, things move on, but it's so interwoven into everything that is Manchester United. They will never be forgotten.
100%.
And it's always important that on days like today that you always sit back and reflect. And that's absolutely what I know may not have been doing tributes all week. They'll continue to do tributes today outside of Old Trafford. Obviously, there were the wreaths laid before the game at the weekend as well, across all age groups. And that's something I really like as well. It's not just at a senior level. It's at every single age group. Again, it's that important. It's that woven in to the fabric of everything that is Manchester United. If you're a player that's, I don't even know what the youngest age group is nowadays. It's something probably like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah, probably under 8.
Exactly. And from that early age, this is the history. As I mentioned, they'll never be forgotten, certainly. So
yeah,
and obviously,
says, yeah,
it's obviously again
where you're going, yeah,
exactly. It's also quite touching, of course, because it's the first one without Sir Bobby Charlton as well. So yeah, it's I guess a doubly poignant day today.
100%. And I think when we quite rightly celebrate how many sort of academy graduates we continue to field, continue to bring through into the first team, those very foundations were laid and sowed by Sir Matt. That's what our club was built on. That is it. When we see, I know we get frustrated with this, that, and the other in modern day football, but when we see the likes of Marcus Rashford, when we see McTominay, when we see Garnacho, when we see Kobbie Mainoo, when we see all these players coming through, and we're like, was it against Wolves? Every goal scored by an academy graduate.
Three out of the 4.
We celebrate these things, and the reason why we're so synonymous with that, class of '92. Then after that, it's like that's what we are built off. So definitely a very poignant day. And please do, like I said, no matter how old you are, guys, please learn our history. Learn our history. Mm-hmm. We have got a jam-packed show though, as per usual. Loads to talk about. There was a sort of situation talking about Raphael Varane, Saudi move. We'll talk about that. back end of yesterday, there was the Christian Eriksen situation with some links to Turkey. Their deadline doesn't close until Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
So we've got that to talk about as well. And everything else in between. Martinez has been onto social media as well to sort of address the fans and address his mindset. And listen, I know it's a post on social media. Sometimes behind the screen there's a lot more going on, but that was nice to see. We look at that as well and everything else in between. So get involved in the chat. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are at 65 likes. Let's get the first 100 through the door. Oh, and what we got then straight off the bat?
Yeah, so starting off with Raphael Varane, and I guess it's more sort of Saudi links. It's been quite a few. Obviously, Raphael Varane still yet to put pen to paper to a new Manchester United contract. As of right now, he's going to be out of contract in the summer. But the Daily Star, so obviously it's a bit not super strong, but these links do continue, saying Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr, same side, of course, it's got Cristiano Ronaldo, want to sign Raphael Varane and are willing to offer him a deal with up to £50 million a year. Varane is expected to leave Manchester United in the summer. Now, is he actually fully expected? I'm not really sure that there's a lot of expectation on it right now, Flex. But one thing's for certain, it's a bit like David De Gea to an extent of last season, that the longer that time goes on and there's no resolution, the more that the speculation will rise and the more that it will become, oh, I think this is what's going to happen come the end of the season with Raphael Varane. Where do you think his future lies?
He's going to go. My favourite. I've understood that for a while. He's going to go. I really do think he will. I could be wrong. I've got no, behind the scenes knowledge or I've heard off the grip. No, it's just my personal feeling, especially with what you said, Owen, that the way these things tend to go with players like Raphael Varane's type and stage of their career and prestige in the game, like what he costs to be able to have on your books because of who he is and what he's done, and rightly so. And sometimes it just doesn't fit with where you are at for a bit, and it did when we got him. But even then, if it's going to be one where when he leaves and we assess his time here, I can say that he's played well whenever he's played because he's a quality defender. But business-wise, it didn't make sense. But it helped us in the short term because we got a quality defender through the door at around 40 million, I think it was. And I remember saying at the time, yes, but then 350 grand a week on a long contract, then you run it down because there's not going to be any sell-on value. This was before the Saudi market was sort of there, by the way. Let's remember that. Now, so now we've kind of let it go to a situation where there isn't going to be any sell-on value because we've gone past that in the January window. And yeah, he'll leave for free. So I suppose you kind of just put it against your books and be like, well, we had a leader in here. We had a quality player here for a few years and it worked for them. Was it the best financial decision? Probably not. But we didn't screw it up by doubling down and then giving him a new contract on improved terms for that amount of money. So it's kind of like that. And he's my favorite. So I'm probably going to tip more towards I'm glad it happened. I'm glad Raphael Varane played for Manchester United. I'm saying it like he really doesn't, but
it was understandable in the sense of you have to remember where United were when we signed Varane. We had just come second in the league under Ollie, and we were off the pace by, was it like 12 points, something like that, maybe a bit less, 8 points, whatever it was. We weren't close, but we came second. Just got to a Europa League final. So the general sort of consensus was we're into sort of next step territory, wasn't it? Right. We've got to be into the next step to compete really for titles and all this kind of stuff. And people can, look back on it and say, well, we were never going to compete for titles. But at the time, there was a feeling of, right, we've got to make the next step. And Varane was like, experience. And signing Jadon Sancho was like signing, up and coming next player, or going to be the next player for the next 10 years or something like that. Bless you. And that's kind of what the thought process was, wasn't it? So I'm not totally adverse to it because, again, I think it's important to have context. I agree with you. Now, in retrospect, when it hasn't worked out and he's on 300K a week, that's when you go, yeah, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? And also, look, and not to circle back to that heated debate outside Old Trafford on Sunday, but part of that was about Raphael Varane, wasn't it? Of going, why is Varane not playing today? You've got one party that says he should be playing all the time. You've got another party like yourself going, I'd love to have him play all the time, but he can't play all the time. He knows that. I mean, he retired at international football at what, 29, 30? You know, for that very reason, because every time he went on an international break, he got hurt. He got injured. And even when we were doing the Newport County preview last week, we mapped out the games and said, right, which one is Varane going to play? Which
you just
one,
knew.
Which one is he not going to play? And if we're doing that, absolutely, the management team and the medical staff, they're probably doing it 3 or 4 weeks in advance, going,
100%.
Which one's he going to play? Which one isn't he going to play? I remember when Eriksen first came in, and you were on that preseason tour, the one of Thailand and Australia. He almost dropped out of the side for a period of time.
We thought, what's going on? He's in the B team.
Fourth choice centre-back.
He's got the bibs on with the rubbish players.
But then it turned out, I think it was the Athletic at the time reported, that was basically Ten Hag and the medical team in United sort of pulling him out and going, right, we have to start him on something different to everyone else because he's got to be on sort of a different regime to everyone because we've got to manage his fitness. And in fairness to Ten Hag and the medical team, and the medical team at Man United does not deserve a lot of credit at all. That's why it's being overhauled. But with Varane, largely, they have got it near enough pretty good. I mean, he's always got the most.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. You've got the most you can get out of Rafa. That game against Sevilla, where they both went down. I mean, that was just like, we're like, oh, come on.
And that was because, wasn't it? And then it came out afterwards that actually he's had that for a couple of weeks.
He's had that for a while. It's just pushing through. I think he was available for most of our biggest games, I want to say, the cup finals and the big European games. Barcelona, I'm sure he played both legs over that. I'm sure he did.
I think so.
Those games last year. But it was always at the cost of, yes, every so often there was a 2-weeker, you know. There was a slight hamstring, or he's on his way back, and then there was like some sort of like illnesses, you know, like a lot of the other players got. I kind of want to be a bit more. I want to look at his injuries from last year.
Well, last year the ones that I can recall,
it'll
be interesting to see if I remember them all. Last year, the ones that I recall is the one when he hurt his knee at Chelsea, and there was the thought he's going to miss the World Cup. And it wasn't that bad. And it wasn't that bad. And he made the World Cup.
He went to the World Cup,
and he played
all the way to the final. Well, he missed like the first 2 games or something, and then played.
And also he went through extra time. Everyone was like, I can't believe it,
bro. He collapsed. I was in the stadium in that game. He collapsed in front of me by the corner flag. I was sitting in that stand. That was out of pure exhaustion. But I went, oh my god, he's done. He's done. He's done. I bought the Fleck Judge to there. Right, I've got the injuries brought up, so carry on.
And then the other one that I can recall, obviously, is the Sevilla one. And I'm assuming maybe there was like one more maybe in between. Maybe an illness, maybe a slight knock. But I don't think there was many last season.
Right, so last season was 22-23, right?
Yes.
Right, so he had an ankle sprain that kept him out for 5 days, but 1 game. That was October the 3rd to October the 8th.
Right.
He had a leg injury that kept him out for 7 games from October 22 to November 14th.
That's the knee. That's the new one.
Yeah. Then he had a foot injury. These are racking up a bit here. He had a foot injury. So that kept him out for 7 games. Then he had a foot injury, April 14th to May 8th.
So that's what he did against Sevilla.
That's the Sevilla one. That kept him out for 7 games. This one's a bit weird because did he not start? He started this season though. It says unknown injury that kept him out for 4 games, August 26th to September 22nd. But he played in the first game against Wolves, didn't he?
Played in the first game against Wolves.
Play at Spurs? No, at Arsenal he came off, didn't he?
Arsenal he came off, yeah.
So maybe he was injured for 4 games after that.
Maybe it's that point.
And then he was ill for 1 day, 1 game. Sorry, 2 days, 1 game, December 22nd. But basically, those 2 are this year. So those 2 are this year. So the only 2 last year was 7-7-14, and then
so it was
15. Missed about 15 games. 3 injuries, and he missed 15 games. You was right. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's great, actually, to be honest. But he missed 15 games last year. That's still a significant amount. It is. It is. I mean, 38 games in the Prem, and then add on. Well, last year we played.
We played a lot of games, didn't we? We played a lot of games last season.
But he missed 15 out of probably 50 odd games. But back to the point. We're going off a bit there, but back to the point. It has to be managed, and it does go back to that fan debate that I had the other day, because he always needs managing. He can't just keep going. I know players at the best of time, whether you're young, in your prime, etc., need managing. But, players who really don't have any injury problems can just keep going. These are highly tuned athletes. These are, Marcus Rashford doesn't need resting. Garnacho doesn't need resting. Bruno, touch wood, I'd hate saying it, but I think it's gone past the stage where you can judge Bruno. Like, he's just never been injured before in his life. It's insane. It's mad. So, when Martinez is fully fit, which obviously we haven't seen for a long time, he's okay if there's a few games back to back. Because also, most players, most athletes, when you're in that groove, they'll tell you it's like, it's fine, it's rest, it's recovery. It's all about how you recover. It's all about how you look after yourself. And those players that are resilient and look after themselves, maybe better than others. And then you get the physiological side of it as well, of just, being fortunate versus unlucky. They're okay. Like, that's why sometimes the player fatigue, I get it to a certain extent, but sometimes we do what we're going to do. We've got 3 games in 10 days. Yeah, right, mate. Yeah, good. When you're a footballer, you're like, good. Scored last night, played last night, I'm fit. Rest tomorrow, back in training day after. Go 2 days training, back it. Like, it helps rather than having sometimes 1 game a week, bit out of rhythm. Takes a while to get back to the next match. Some players, if you interview them, ask them, would prefer a game every 3 or 4 days versus big gaps. So, yeah, he can't. I think he's going to go, is what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's probably going to go. I think INEOS will. When you're looking at, it's going to be a big summer for United. Absolutely massive summer in terms of incomings and outgoings. And when you start looking at raising funds, you're going to look at Varane. Again, his contract's up. He's on a big wage. There's a market there ready for him as well.
Perfect.
Seemingly. The only thing I will say, as I've said a few times recently, is I'm really interested to see what happens with the Saudi League this coming summer, because not that it's less attractive, because the money's still there, obviously, but there have been those stories of people going there and being like, and it's not even just like, oh, we have Jordan Henderson, who cares? Those stories of like Karim Benzema going, well, actually, they're quite
only one high-profile exit, though, isn't it, or a couple? There wasn't really.
There was, in terms of the people leaving,
there was noise.
There was a story, Benzema, Laporte, and a couple of others being like, well, I don't know, but at the same time, money will talk, and they'll do another big push on it, certainly, won't they? So, I think I agree with you. I think Varane's going to be on his way out.
Varane's only 30.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Thiago Silva, I know Chelsea are awful right now, and he's exposed left, right, and centre, and even he's probably clocked off now. He's looking bad because they're just a mess. But up until, a couple of seasons ago, we were saying he was one of the best defenders in the league. Still, even now, at like bloody 38 years or whatever he was at the time when he was sort of doing well. It just proves, if you can look after, look how durable Thiago Silva is at this stage of his career.
Are just a disgrace. That's what they are. They are just an absolute disgrace. And I find it hilarious that they're bottom half right now. The talk is, I saw something from the Daily Mail yesterday being that they would maybe consider sacking Pochettino. They can't afford it because of FFP.
Yeah, Ben Jacobs said he's not really at any threat. They
spent so much money that even if they wanted to, they cannot.
That's brilliant, isn't it? That's brilliant. I mean, Matisse said he wants them all out. Pochettino,
I tell you what, he was doing some beautiful tap dancing yesterday on DR going, so do you want Pochettino out? I want the directors out. No, but do you want Pochettino out? I want the directors out. Yeah, but do you want Pochettino out? The directors, they make the decision. He wasn't even opposed to Jose good, if that's what the directors want.
Yeah, because that's what they want. It's the new guys.
Where's your opinion gone, Matisse? Where has it gone?
But then he did buckle on. Yes, he can go, because I thought he was the right man, and he's not. Doesn't care about the Carabao Cup final anymore. Oh, Matisse. Oh, I love that guy. He's so funny, man. Let's get to the super chats before we carry on. Red Baron says, Owen, please show Flex the KG Happy Birthday song.
No.
Well,
I saw on the Manchester called into the Full-Time View on Sunday and said, this is how I'm feeling right now. And he played a video of KG. I think it's an early KG the Comedian sketch of him singing Happy Birthday. Yeah, it's just, these are things with KG, like videos appear of stuff that he's done like 10 years ago. And you go, good Lord.
Yeah. What's
Stuff you've never seen before. He's in a universe of entirely himself, and I love it.
Yes, don't change. Red Baron says flex names anime. Insert most obvious animes here. Yeah, because I ain't got a clue, mate. I ain't got a clue about animes. I just tried to start it out yesterday because I would like to be part of the conversation and not left out. Because everyone laughs at me because I don't know about it, and obviously it backfires when I do that because I ain't got a clue about it, mate. Red Baron says also says out the players, but clear out the crackhead fans. Wow, strong words from Red Baron this morning. And Chris says, did you like the Rasmus Højlund interview? Yeah, I saw he done an interview with United Stand yesterday. Big up to them. That's what it's about. Big interview that. I need to watch it. I haven't seen all of the quotes that come out for it. I saw a couple. I saw him when he was naming his team.
Like five-a-side team or something like that, I think.
But I didn't see the rest of the quotes, actually. Did he say anything bombshell stuff? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I didn't see it, but did I like it? I love the fact that he's done an interview with a big outlet on the fan side. So that's brilliant to see. That's what we want to see more of. I think it's brilliant. Lil Yo says it was a mere interview, to be honest. Okay, well, the fact that it's been done, I like it. It shows that the barriers are being broken. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, that just couldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? That just couldn't happen. So the fact that we can break down them barriers from this field, no matter who does it, I think is really important. So I really like.
Absolutely.
I like the fact it happened. George being a member for 1 month says, like the video, guys. Yes, we're nearly 1,000 people watching, 170 likes. Let's get to 250. Small incremental changes. Get to 250.
Or a big one. Everyone like the video right now.
I want 978 likes right now.
Exactly.
Big up DJ in the chat as well, man. Big up DJ. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We'll speak soon, so big up to you, bro. And Aminor says injury records, then both Shaw and Varane must go. Well, we spoke about Luke Shaw last night, didn't we? And some
spoke a
people
lot.
say, yeah, exactly. But interesting. Very interesting. We'll see. This video is, though, brought to you by Cracks Only, as per usual. As you can see, I got my black and white Cracks Only Japanese print on here. Loved it. This print is probably my favorite Cracks Only style. Comes in a variety of colors. Comes in black. I've got a brown one. I've got this white one as well, which I'm wearing for the first time today. I've always got my Cracks Only wash bag right here. They've sent me a black one as well.
Of the wash bag.
On this. I'm a fan of a wash bag. I am.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it makes you feel like you're more
like a footballer.
You are.
I was going to feel like a footballer. You walk in.
Mate, I'm at Sky Sports. So you get in, you haven't got all your proper gear on. Then when it's time to get ready, get your makeup done and get into your actual clothes you're going to wear. I walk through the studio, past Darmesh and them, man. You know what I mean? Past Hayley McQueen, all of them guys. Yeah. Past Dermot Gallagher, the disgrace and cheat, by the way.
Disgrace to my region.
Refs union.
My region. That's where he is.
Yeah. He's from where you're from. Walking with my wash bag. Walking in, thinking I'm the man. You know what I mean? It's nice and it's really good quality. But check out the link in the video description below to check out all of their gear, whether you play football, whether you're just into your streetwear, whether you want your tracksuits, your hoodies. They are based out there in LA, which is obviously premium hot weather, but they cater for all of us. Big puffer jackets, big hoodies, big tracksuits, thick, and your summer gear as well. So big up to the guys at Cracks Only. Big up to Alfredo. And Owen, run VT. This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. The link is in the video description below to get the latest gear off their website. Whether you play football or you don't, there is something there for everybody. Straight out of LA. Check it out.
We're back.
We're back. So big up to everyone getting involved in Cracks Only. I know a few of you have said to me on a personal that you love the Cracks Only brand and you're getting some stuff. Christian Eriksen.
This is an interesting one. Now, because people forget a little bit about the Turkey transfer window is just a little bit later than everyone else. So this was coming from reports and outlets based in Turkey saying Galatasaray want to sign Christian Eriksen for their deadline on Friday. Came from via Sportwin as well and to MUFC MPB. Is there any possibility Christian Eriksen goes to Turkey? before the end of their transfer window? Surely not. I mean, we've had all
I'd
of
be
our midfield
surprised.
troubles this season, haven't we? And look, we've had so many midfield injuries at various points. Eriksen's been involved in that. Mason Mount, Casemiro, Kobe Mainu. Hopefully, at this point, we're kind of getting to a situation where our midfield is a bit more stable. We've seen in the last couple of games that, you know, it's been a case of, it's distracted me, Flex. It distracted me. Distracted me. I've got to get my voice around it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not ready. It's going to take me a second.
Oh, you know, I thought you just pressed the button and it's ready.
No, it's not.
I'm like, right. Oh, right. I thought you just press the button and you go straight into the voice. I mean, I don't even need to tell you, but get your pharaohs in the chat. The Black Mora says Nubian. Aminor says okay. Keegan, pharaohs up. Produced by Palmerius, pharaohs up. Aria, pharaohs up. Joe Blackman, get the voice ready. Pharaohs up. Nubian Pharaoh has stepped in the building. Nubian Pharaoh has entered the building, says Aminor. I didn't even see that one before I said that. Mehdi says, has pharaohs up. Lil Yo-Yo, pharaohs up. Mac, pharaohs up. He done with your old mate. Go. Oh, okay. I don't know. Aminor, pharaohs up. Yes, that's Jay Warnock. Pharaohs up. It's just insane what he does, and how he does it, and just how consistently he does it. He's a pharaoh. He's a living pharaoh. It's insane. Owen, have you got the voice?
Is it me, or have United recently reignited the inner glow of happiness? Like the video, it's free, folks. Feeling happy today.
Nubian, I think you're feeling happy every day, bro. I think you're feeling happy every day. Because what you have done, do you know what? And on a real level, what you've actually done for this community in this channel in the last couple of months has been actually extraordinary. You know what I mean? Gifting the super chats that you've given in this time is so significant to a channel like us that's like still growing and still trying to find our way in this thing. We're still a baby. Like, it is actually massive. That's why I actually thank you so much, as well as everybody else, by the way, who makes this community what it is, and every single one of you. But of course, with Nubian doing we all agree. I think everyone agrees in the community, in the chat, and you know, it's not about how much money you give, but I think we can all agree that how significant Nubian's going crazy. It's like, it's insane. It's insane. So yeah, big up to you, Nubian Pharaoh. We are feeling happy today as well. Yeah, very thank
happy.
You, Pharaoh, says Joe Blackman. Big up to you, Joe Blackman, as well. You're always there. What was we saying? Oh yeah, we were talking about Eriksen. Yeah, but do you know what? I did look at it, right, and I went, well, it would be a bit weird if he left like now, just like that.
Is it possible?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen, but it is possible. It's possible. When I look at it, obviously we're in February now, and we've got players coming back, but I think you don't really want to gamble on that because we've seen how many injuries we do have. Mason Mount's still nearing a return, whenever that is. I just don't know where he's
well,
gone.
Flex, you did the sort of zoom in, you know, last night on the full view when you were talking about Mason Mount, you know.
I know.
Do you still believe?
I know. I do. Until I'll tell you what, the only time I won't believe anymore, it won't be this year, because I'm going to
saying one more injury. You say, are you saying one more injury basically? Because my theory is with Mason Mount is he's one or two injuries away from being like, well, that's it.
Yeah, he's got one or two significant.
But United, you know what I mean? If he comes back from this calf issue and then pulls a hamstring, or you know what I mean, does a groin, you'd be like, I tell you what,
something's wrong.
Because
he didn't leave Chelsea in the best shape, did he? He was injured.
No, but this is what's crazy with that is, so last season I think he missed like 13 games, something like that.
Yeah, he was injured a lot. Yeah.
His first injury, or so far since this season, it's been worse than that. He's missed more games, considerably more already. So this is worse than last season. So you've got back-to-back difficult seasons or largely absent seasons for him. And yeah, I mean, if you want to be really blunt about it, Flex, it's like we haven't actually signed him. Because
exactly. 20, yeah, 22,
what's he offered
20,
this season? Nothing.
No, 22-23 season with Chelsea. So last year, 1 game out for a knock, 5 games out for pelvic contusion, 7 games out for pelvic injury. One before that, it wasn't too bad, but last season, yeah, he missed a lot, man. He missed a lot. He missed a lot. So, I don't know. I do believe. I honestly think he's going to be a good player for us. I really, really do. But I understand it's looking bleak, to say the least. But back to the Eriksen thing, he's been an unused sub in the last 3 games, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean,
so
this morning
he is starting to look less involved and on the periphery. And the emergence of Kobbie Mainoo's literally just sat Eriksen back, really. And then when we are changing games, he's going to McTominay, because in those time and really it's kind of working, because if we go off the 2 games, those are the games where things may have happened in the game and someone like McTominay can come on and get you a goal, like he did against Wolves. And he got an assist when he came on against West Ham. So his role of being the first choice midfield sub when Casemiro starts getting too many yellows or Kobbie's getting a bit tired is probably about right now. Yeah. Obviously, Eriksen can come on for 20 minutes. We always say he sort of tires at the 60th. And if the game's not right for him, he get run past really easily. And, but he's still a quality footballer. And in the right moments, if you put him on when we're sort of 2-0 up, cruising, he's a good addition to have. Keep the ball ticking and make good decisions, especially if the conditions are right for him. But he might be looking at it like, I'm not really playing right now, and I'm not really going to play. Amrabat's not going to get a look in. He's ahead of. Is Amrabat ahead of Eriksen? No, I'll say Eriksen's ahead of him.
I wouldn't say
so. I don't know if Amrabat's going to play for the rest of the season. It's mad,
honestly.
This
I think this should be.
This should. Cows come home about this guy.
This should be, and it won't be, but this should be a reminder why we can't get too carried away with this person is the answer.
I'm never doing it
this again. Season we have done it with so many different people, and we're even to an extent doing it now, but we're this person's the answer, this person's the answer, this person the answer. The way we hype the players, nobody can be the answer unless they're generational. They're never going to be the answer. And I mentioned this about Amrabat the other day with on the match view. We played West Ham, and they're like, Amrabat's back on the bench. I went, I forgot he was even gone. I didn't even know. He's back. He's back. I think with Eriksen, I think his role now is probably the perfect role for him. In all honesty, he's 32 later on this month. It's happened again, Flex. I've got to get my voice back. I've got to open it back up again.
Jeez, man. Nubian Pharaoh, man. And do you know what? While Owen gets the voice ready, I think we'll discuss that a little bit afterwards, because I think it's very telling where Nubian Pharaoh is on his way to. Madness. Absolute madness. Owen, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? It's a half thumb. He's not there yet. It's just loading up. I mean, because every time it happens, guys, I'm as speechless as you lot. Because I don't understand how this is happening. I'll be honest. I don't get how this is happening. It's just insane. Owen, over to you.
Have a great show. You guys are most welcome. I'm off to a business meeting in the City of London today, so can't watch the rest of the show.
I mean, that just, a business meeting in the City of London just sort of gives us an insight. You know what I mean? Big meetings, maybe a powerful person, clearly a rich person. But you know what, actually? In fairness to Nubian Pharaoh, clearly with the humility and the humbleness, I don't think Nubian Pharaoh's not really on that. It's not on talking about I think Nubian Pharaoh's just on the good vibes and just, support, helping us. So actually, we probably should not do him a disservice and being like, oh, he's rich, we'll talk about money, because actually he's not come on that. He hasn't mentioned that once. Just been really humble and just
Nubian
generous. It's just Nubian Pharaoh. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. Have a great meeting. I hope the meeting goes well in your world of work in the city of London. Maybe I might bump into you without knowing it's you.
Imagine
when I'm walking through the city of London. You know what I mean? What day is it today? Tuesday, Wednesday. Be over at Talk Sport, London Bridge. Might see you amongst all the people.
Never know.
Might not know it's you. You know what I mean? So yes, big up to you, Nubian Pharaoh. Thank you for coming through as per usual. Joe Blackman says, I'm going to go find Nubian Pharaoh in the city. He's close. If you don't ever speak to him, then yeah, ask him if he ever wants to speak on your show. I don't know whether it's part of the mystique, Nubian Pharaoh, but you are welcome to come on the show anytime. Or please send us an email if you ever wanted to chat in person. Would love to actually get you a coffee if that pays back for that. I don't know.
I've got flavored ones.
I don't, it's a light little Nescafe thing, or like, you know, I've got a coffee machine. I could you know, bring one down for you. But I'd love to get you a coffee, bro. Or something. Yeah. That'd be great. So drop us an email if you ever did want to do that. Yes. Christian Eriksen, yes, he's playing less and less. Oh no, you were saying don't hype up players.
I was saying I think it's the perfect role for him at the moment. 32 later on this month. We know that his legs aren't what they were. I like the opportunity to bring him on if we need a bit more creative guile in the team. But I also like in certain other games where he can start playing 60 minutes and open teams up. So I wouldn't get rid of him. This is, I think, is very useful. We don't have many players like Christian Eriksen in our squad, do we? We bemoan the lack of technical ability so often, don't we? So I would still say keep him. And to be honest, in terms of of all of the talk about signings that haven't worked out, I'd say Christian Eriksen's worked out pretty damn well, considering free transfer.
Yeah, we forget that he was always a real low risk one. You know what sort of qualities he does possess. First is the ones he doesn't, and yeah, I'd say he's worked. I think it probably has come to a point now where you are looking at it now, going, okay, he's probably served his time here as we're starting to kick this midfield on. In the summer, there's going to be changes there. I mean, like I said, we know if a big bid comes in for Casemiro, I think he'll be moved on as well. Because, financially, I think the way INEOS are going to go with this, and especially Omar Barada, and the club have already told me, actually, if 40 million comes in for Casemiro, and that was in the last window. Casemiro's different. He's got 3 years left on his deal. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time he gets to the summer, that would have been 2 full seasons. Yeah, we gave him a 5-year contract, didn't we? Which is insane.
4 + 1, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, and also, wasn't it like the second or third highest fee for a player over 30 ever? I think it was only Ronaldo and maybe someone else.
Had to be us, didn't it?
Top that list, but that was the situation we were in, wasn't it? Desperation settings. I mean, of a poor window, poor start to the season, and get a big commercial name. So those names, and I think people sort of confuse the discussion of, well, there's a chance they'll go in the summer with the perception that, they're not good enough or they're not good. Raphael Varane and Casemiro are fantastic football players. They have achieved so much. And they are not the problem at Manchester United.
No,
clearly not. But if you are going to be looking towards the future and you're going to be looking at fundraising, and you've got a player that you go, like a Casemiro, we go over 30, big wage, we can still get some. There's a market for him out there that we can tap into fairly quickly, fairly easily. Then sometimes you have to kind of pull that lever, don't you? And just go, okay, then I guess that's where we're going to have to go. And then the key thing not only is the fundraising, the other key thing is, who do we replace him with? And do we get this strategy right this time? The midfielder that we then get has to be younger, has to be, emerging. Well, I tell you what, in 3 or 4 years' time, they could be the next Casemiro, prime. That's what United need to do.
That's what we've got to be getting.
That's what we've not been able to do for so long. And that's not easy either.
Christian Eriksen, older player, can do a job for this little period. We've done the Casemiro, older player, can do a job for this little bit. Kobbie Mainoo is the future. No problem with that. Now we probably need someone, obviously, it's weird. It's sort of in between, older than Kobbie Mainoo, but younger than Casemiro, sort of in. And they can be a young up and coming prospect. They can be 22, 23, but they probably need to be you know,
They can be
a bit more
25.
established.
They can be
Yeah, they'd be
25,
25 going
yeah.
into their prime, 26. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going into their prime. But we just need the profile needs to be right. And I think I'm nervous, but I'm actually excited as well for this summer because it's going to tell us a lot really quickly. Even if we haven't got all the money to do everything we want to do because of FFP, because we might not get into Champions League, etc., etc. Even by what we do, whatever we do, and how we do it is going to speak a lot about INEOS. And I think, look, we have to wait and see. But my gut feeling, I think we're going to see big changes in what we do. I think even from the contract handling during this winter, I think has showed us what we're gearing up to do, and I think we've played it perfectly. We've retained Hannibal's value, or the maximum that he can, considering he's not like a key player for us.
I don't
Don't get me wrong.
I don't think they're going
Probably
to cash in. I don't think Sevilla are going to cash in.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's having a horrid time, and that's just sod's law, as they call it. But you did the right thing business-wise. It's then on the player to go there, and he has to smash it. Do you know what I mean? Fair play. He's obviously going to come back, but the fact that he's going to come back, he's going to have a year left. So that you sell him probably then to bloody, I don't know, whoever else comes in for him. Might be a smaller fee now because his stock's falling, but that's on him. We couldn't do any more than that. You've retained Aaron Wan-Bissaka's value by giving him an extension, and clearly, and this is why when people were getting, in a twist and start moaning and saying silly things. Oh, so Erik ten Hag's so stupid. He thinks he should get rid of Varane, but keep Maguire and Lindelof and extend Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But get real. Like, we have to make these decisions now so we're in a better position in the summer. Wan-Bissaka clearly isn't Erik ten Hag's first choice right back. He's not. That's why he hasn't been given a big deal for security, 4-year deal, 5-year deal. Dalot has been given that deal. Hence why they have extended his contract to trigger the extra year, but he's barely played since, really, has he? Let's be honest.
If I was Dalot, I'd still be looking over my shoulder, to be honest with you, because I'd be thinking
another guy's going to come in and be
exactly. Because if you're
playing out his skin,
exactly, because you're looking at going, look, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's chances are probably going to go in the summer, and damn, they're going to go for another right back, and it would be wise for United not to recruit, it's just going to be a backup right back. No, if you can improve, absolutely. Make Dalot the backup right back. Get a top right back if you can. That's a position we can absolutely improve upon. So I'll be definitely looking over my shoulder for that. And also, I think when you're talking about the triggering the extensions of the contracts, this is why sometimes it pays to not be so reactive, because like you say, Ten Hag would then go to these press conferences and say, "Oh yeah, we're talking to them, Flex. Why are we talking to them? What are we doing?" It's a bit like with Maguire in the summer when he didn't go to West Ham, and then Eriksen asked in the press conference, "Harry Maguire looks like he's going to be staying," and he goes, "Yeah, we're happy to have him here. He's going to do very well." This is a problem.
Clueless.
What is he going to do? Is he going to go in the press conference? Goes, "I didn't want him to stay. I hate him.
I can't believe he's still here. We just won't go. Like a bad smell, mate. Everything, everything.
I'm trying to pry his fingers off the door at Carrington."
Like the guy just won't go. I gave my blessing. I even said goodbye to him in and he's still here. Can't believe it. No, he's not going to do that. And even with the Lindelof one, don't get me wrong, he got injured as well. But even since he's been back from injury, he ain't starting. He's going to Varane and Martinez and then Maguire. That shows you what he thinks about Lindelof. So when it gets to the summer, Lindelof has probably reached the perfect shelf life of, and this is where it got pushed back on the player side, because we've given them this power. Fair play to Wan-Bissaka, fair play to Lindelof, fair play to Maguire, actually, because what they've done is they've oozed every last bit out of being a Manchester United player. Like Harry Maguire, to be fair to him, said, "I'm not leaving. I'm not effing leaving," and actually said, "I'm going to get opportunities. I'm going to get opportunities. I know Varane gets injured. I back myself to be better than Lindelof. And when this opportunity comes, I'm going to take it." And he did. And he did. And then he got injured himself, unfortunately, right? And then, so that's that. Lindelof has just, I think he's looked at professional and just gone, "Listen, I'm third choice minimum. I'm always, the highest I can be is third choice." Yeah. And then when Harry's been there, I'm actually fourth. Then Johnny Evans has come in. Sometimes I might be fifth choice. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm just happy just doing my role when I need to do it. I don't want to leave. I don't want to agitate for a leave. a move. I could be like, now I want to start every week, so let me go to Benfica or let me go to bloody Valencia or wherever it is. But he hasn't, because he probably enjoys the family life. He's settled, he's on really good money, and he's happy with the squad role. Now it's getting to his last year, and Man United will probably be a bit more forceful to say, Victor, nothing's going to change with where you're at. You've been fantastic. We will listen to offers and probably accept offers if they come in. So you probably need to find somewhere. Then that will change everything. Wan-Bissaka, same thing. He was out of favour for a little bit. Come in 50 million. Cool. Then he's competing with Dalot for most of that time. You know, it looked like he was out of there. Waited his opportunity. Didn't leave. That World Cup happens. Dalot gets injured. He took it and ran with it. And then Dalot's wrestled it back. But, you know, and then now Wan-Bissaka's got a year left. So he's got a decision to make, because they're going to say, Aaron, we obviously didn't give you what Diogo got, which is 4 or 5 year deal extension. You know, we want to see where we're at. We will probably listen to offers for you. So you might want to talk. You have those conversations to make the player know it's over. Yeah. So we've done it right. We've done it right.
And with Lindelof as well. And this is the really interesting thing for the summer, like you say. It is so interesting because I don't think anyone really knows what to expect. In the past, you kind of knew what to expect from United in the sense of we're going to spend probably a lot of money. We're not probably going to sell that many people. It's not going to be, you know, all singing, all dancing in that aspect. This time, we don't know what to expect. Maybe we will sell some players. Maybe we won't spend as much money, but we'll be smart with the funds. I don't know. But a player like Lindelof's a great example, because a good sporting director or a good director of football should be able to get decent money for Victor Lindelof.
What could we get for Victor Lindelof in the summer with 1 year left?
With 1 year left in his contract.
Player.
What do we get?
We got 30.
30. We could get close to 30 still.
You 30? Think?
Yeah. This is the thing. He's played in the Premier League for how many years at this point? Is it like 5 years?
Yeah,
6 years?
Yeah.
6 years. He's the captain of the Swedish national team as well. How old is he as well? Was he 27?
29, 30?
We can get 30 million. 29. Why not? The market's crazy.
Current market value is 18 million euros on transfer market, but that doesn't really. I don't think we'll get 30. I think that's too high.
We can.
Nah, not 30. We ain't getting what we paid for him with 1 year left, and he's like
25.
Not a starter.
25.
I'm saying 20 max.
20 max.
I'm saying 20 max. I was thinking between 15 and 20. Year left. Lindelof settings 29. And I was thinking like 17, 18 is what
29. I thought he was younger than that.
Just been around for time.
I thought it was 28. 27,
18 million is his current value on
I'll settle on 25.
I was like 30. Bloody bought him for that.
We can get 25.
That's 6 years
ago. Yeah, but a long time ago, inflation.
Let us know if you think Owen's a crackhead in the chat.
Probably.
For saying 30 million for Lindelof. 30.
25.
I'm just saying 20 max. 15,
I've got high expectations for Man United this summer.
I know Omar Barada's sick, but bloody hell. If he did that, mate, he'd just get a statue. Oh, God.
How many years has Harry Maguire got left in his contract?
He's probably got a year
left. It's
like
1, isn't it?
Actually, no, I think he's probably got a trigger, so he's probably got 2 years left.
1 + 1.
Yeah, I reckon he has.
Because he signed a really long contract when he signed
it. He did, yeah. And he hasn't signed an extension since. So his runs out in June 25, as it stands.
June 25.
So that's probably without the trigger for an extra.
Yeah, so June 26. So
what did we give him? An 8-year deal? What did we give
him? Oh, no, we signed 2019.
Joined in 2019. He must have signed an extension since then.
Seymour, was it 6 + 1 then?
Yeah.
So Harry Maguire with 2 years left in his contract. How much can you get for him?
Well, we nearly sold him for like 30 million last summer, didn't we?
Well, I think Man United wanted more, didn't they? I think.
I was saying, wasn't I saying 40? And I was nearly going to have to give AGT money because he was like, "You're never going to get that."
I think you can get 40 million for Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Maybe a bit less.
I'd like to think so. 40 million, but it's another year down where he hasn't played
2 years left.
Yeah, it might be the one where it actually
played more than he played last season. I tell you what, though, after a decent European Championship flex where England win the tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to say a light 35 for Harry if he goes. 35. God, I just didn't realize he's got such long left. We give him such a long deal, man.
With 2 years, English.
Hopefully, with the English tax and that and the good Euros, we can get 40.
Maybe 35.
Yeah. Yeah. But exactly, we agreed to sell for 30 mil. That deal, I think, was agreed between the two clubs. It was. But Harry
There
was the
was
one who done the
well,
deal,
and there was also the compensation stuff, wasn't there? Being like, "We've got a bit of a big contract, we've got to pay me off on." It's like, oh no,
exactly, yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Mm.
About that, and
Yeah.
and again, he's still in a strong position. He's probably got 2 years left with an option for a further. Well, no, by the time it gets to this summer, he'll have 1 year left, but he'll have an option. So yeah, because he's done in June 25. But when we get to June 24, he'll have 1 year left officially. But I think to preserve his value, if we don't sell him, we'll have to trigger that extension because we won't want him going into his finishing in the following summer and go for free. So
well, and look, ultimately, when you're looking at those centre backs, someone's got to stay. I mean, because
we're not going to get 3 centre backs in one win. And Johnny Evans is probably going to go and not get a new deal.
Like we're going, Varane's going to go, Maguire's going to go, Lindelof's going to go, Johnny Evans.
Maguire will stay. Maguire will stay. This. I mean, the only thing is because obviously the money that he can command. That's the difference. So maybe you might go because Maguire. Let's just paint a scenario quickly. This is quite fun. Let's just say, because let's look at things business-wise. I mean, let's say we're INEOS, right?
Yeah.
West Ham come in again and put down 30 to 35 million. That's decent money for us because we need it, right? We want to put 40, but 35. Would you let him go because you're going to let Varane go for free? You're going to let Johnny Evans go for free.
Yeah.
And you know that Maguire's going to fetch more money than Lindelof would. So actually you're going to keep Lindelof as third choice again.
It's just going to be
but
free
take
transfer.
the money for that and you persuade Lindelof to stay another year and still be that guy for you and let Maguire go and then invest into, better.
Well, who cares about persuading him? He's got a year left in his contract.
Yeah, you just say you're not going, actually. Yeah, you just say you're not going.
Yeah.
Would that make better business sense?
I think so. Or how can you generate the highest amount of money? To be honest with you, it depends.
Maguire, who's going to get
and it depends on, doesn't it? It depends on how big your plans are in terms of bringing players in. Circumstances might dictate when it's like, if we're going to get this centre midfielder, we really need to raise some extra funds. Or also, like I said, circumstances dictate. Someone suddenly becomes available that you didn't anticipate becoming available. Because that sometimes happens in the transfer market, and you go, if we're going to do this deal, we didn't really think about it, we didn't really plan for it, but this player's become available, we've tracked him for a long time, but we need to raise some funds, and then suddenly you go, well, get rid of Maguire then. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would be, but like I said, I think it's fascinating because I think everyone, bar just a handful, are all on the chopping block come the summer. I don't think anyone knows what to expect. Realistically,
and they shouldn't, and they should expect ruthlessness.
Yeah,
they should expect the clear out that we need, and that's why I'm looking forward to it. Just before we end the show, there was a little message from Lisandro Martinez.
Yes, Lisandro Martinez went on social media yesterday saying, "I want to give heartfelt thanks for the great support I've received, and to reassure you, I'll soon be back out there, and we'll fight together, always united." So Leacher, he said he's going to soon be back out there, as United said in their statement yesterday, be back this season on the pitch. So I still say that it's good news. I saw people yesterday after we did the full view saying, "How is this a boost? How is this an injury boost?" Because I think most people assumed he was going to be out for quite some time, and 6 to 8 weeks isn't bad going considering what we thought it could be. I don't think there's any expectation. I mean, I
thought it was done for the season, mate.
Exactly. Like I said, this is when I wonder, because I sort of think, were people genuinely hoping that it was going to come out the next day that he's completely fine?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, he's going to play against Villa.
He's all right, no problem. So, positive news. And the only thing, and I do partially agree with what Mina was saying last night, with depending on where we're at in the season and then the table at that point, we're going to have to resist the urge to be like, let's bring him back immediately. Like if we're either fourth or we're like 2 points off top four, it's really, really tight or something, and the opportunity is there to bring Leacher back, you've still got to resist that urge to be like, no, he has to be ready. He has to be ready, he has to be right. Not because this injury was caused by coming back too early or anything like that. It's a really unfortunate, to an extent, freak injury. Someone fell on his leg. But there will be that kind of, I guess, urge at some point, depending on how we're doing. Like if we're completely out of it by that point, we're like, then you go, oh, it doesn't matter. We'll bring it back when he's ready. But if it's tight, if it's closed, then we're going to have to sort of fight that urge a little bit, certainly.
Yeah, no, agreed. Absolutely agreed. I think it's just a positive post from him. Positive to hear that he's not out for as long as we thought he was. I'm all for that. Interesting though, most people did agree with Mina last night on the full view though, of like, don't rush him back and leave him till the rest of the season. I don't know. I just think if he's ready, we can't afford not to. If he's ready.
If he's ready, then
absolutely. 8 weeks max this is, unless there's a setback.
Exactly.
So
well, they're suggesting, there's an international break in March, and the hope is that he'll be back after that. So, it depends which kind of time frame you're looking at. Are you looking at 8 weeks and saying it's going to be 8 weeks, or are you looking at that 6 weeks going, actually, we might be able to get him back, a month and a half.
He doesn't need an op as well, which is good.
Yep, absolutely.
And we got 1 game a week most weeks. So, the amount of games as well. If we were in that batch of games we was in last year, we'd have been missing loads of games. So, actually, the schedule probably helps him come back quicker. So, but don't rush him. Of course, don't rush him. And I don't think we did rush him at all. I think any suggestions that we handled that wrong was I just don't think you're looking at the right things to come to that conclusion. I think you just jump
on his leg.
Really, it's just a freak accident. Like, what would you have done if he would have got a concussion from getting a banged head from someone elbowing him? Would that have been he shouldn't have been there too? Like, it's football. It's an innocuous challenge. He won the ball, and Kufal fell on his knee. Yeah, awkwardly. That just could happen. It could have been Varane. It could have been Harry Maguire. It could have been Luke Shaw. It could have been anyone. It just happens. Could have been Bruno, who's never been injured in his life. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. Anyway, guys, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Later on today, Flexing KG show. And I tell you what, we have got some things to discuss. Matisse and Chelsea in the mud, Pochettino, and we talk about that. Klopp in the mud as Arteta done a number on him. And actually, I'm going to defend Arteta a little bit, even though KG won't have it, which will be interesting, because he was doing his little celebrations, although his "Ray" looks hella stiff. It doesn't look correct. Like the way he did
Jamie Carragher. Do you see Jamie Carragher?
Yeah, he was so salty.
He's unhappy about people celebrating, yet when Jurgen Klopp runs onto the pitch, he's going, look at Jurgen Klopp, look at all this kind of stuff.
It's ridiculous. And that's what I mean. So we got a lot to talk about that. We're going to be a good Flexing KG show. So we'll see you. We're going to pre-record it during the day, but we'll be out at 6 p.m. for you guys to get involved with in the chat as a premiere as well. So yes, guys, we will see you soon later on today. Loads going on. We're out of here. Peace.